Okay, guys, we're coming to exam one. I want to say a few things about the first couple chapters relative to the exam, kind of some summaries. In terms of the exam, it's going to be 50 multiple choice, 25 from chapter one, 25 from chapter two. This is the only time that you're ever going to have an exam that's all multiple choice. But because it's on two chapters, this is the way I do it, and I evenly split it. But this is a 100-point test, so each of these multiple choice questions is worth 2 points. So just keep that in mind. It's an important test. In terms of chapter one, the emphasis is going to be on the research methods that we talked about. You guys studied, you did the worksheets on. In particular, the descriptive studies. Make sure you know what a naturalistic observation is, why you would use it, what the challenge is to using it. Same thing with a lab observation. Same thing with a case study. Case study is when you're studying one particular individual because they're unique or new or something is very rare and you don't have much of an opportunity to study it. And then survey. Survey is when you need information of a huge number of people. A survey, a random sample of a survey is about the only way you can do it. Random sampling, random assignment, always equalizes differences between people, between groups, and it's essential for any of the research methods we talked about. Make sure you know the difference between a positive correlation and a negative correlation. Make sure you understand that just because two things are correlated doesn't necessarily mean that one causes the other. You know, the higher your IQ, the lower your risk of heart disease, for example. But IQ has nothing to do with heart disease. It just is associated with factors that reduce your risk of heart disease, that kind of a thing. Sometimes something that correlates is a cause, sometimes it's not. But what it does give you is it allows you to predict one thing from the presence of another. Okay? The more you study, the more likely you are to get a better grade. Is that always the truth? No. But if I'm trying to bet on which students are going to get the best grades, and if I know all the ones that studied the most, and I take those people, I'm going to win because one of them is going to do well. In fact, most of them are going to do well. Definitely better than the ones that didn't study. A plus 1.0 is a perfect positive correlation. That means every time A goes up, B goes up. Every time A goes down, B goes down. And a negative 1.0 is a perfect negative correlation. Every time A goes up, B goes down. Every time A goes down, B goes up. It's just a change in direction. Positive means same direction. Negative means different directions. You're going to find in psychology that positive and negative don't mean good or bad, and don't let that confuse you. It always means addition or subtraction or direction. Positive, same direction. Negative, different directions. And then obviously the experimental method, we went over in detail. You guys did your worksheets, study those. Those are the kinds of questions you're going to see on the test. Okay, application kinds of questions. And then ethics, particularly ethics with human subjects, informed consent, debriefing, the idea that when you're doing an experiment, you initially tell the experimental group and the control group kind of a lie about what the purpose of the experiment is, because if people know the purpose, that might affect their behavior. So you kind of tell them a lie so you get pure results, and then as soon as the experiment's over, you tell them the truth in the debriefing. Okay? In chapter 2, I want you to focus on function. You're not going to see any diagrams of the nervous system and have to label the parts or anything like that. Function, the function of the parts of the neuron, the function of the different neurotransmitters, the function of the different lobes of the brain, the functions controlled by the left hemisphere of the brain versus the right hemisphere of the brain, the functions of the various parts of the brainstem or hindbrain, the functions of the various parts of the limbic system. These are all involuntary parts of our brain. There's parts of our brain that work 24/7. When you go to sleep at night, for example, you don't have to think, okay, I got to remember to breathe and I have to remember to wake up. that's taken care of. You don't have to think about your heart beating or your food digesting. That's all done for you automatically. So make sure you guys know the function of the different parts of the brain, the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system. In terms of the peripheral nervous system, a focus is going to be the autonomic nervous system, which is 2 branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Autonomic, think about what the word autonomic sounds like. It sounds like automatic. It means it works automatically. It's like an automatic pilot. We don't have to think about it. Heart rate, respiration, sleep-wake cycle, perspiration, digestion. These are all handled by that part of the nervous system. Sympathetic is in charge of the fight or flight response, the stress response. It gets you ready to handle danger, something new, something unfamiliar. Your heart rate increases, your respiration increases because blood is being pumped at a higher than normal volume to your brain so you can think better, and to your muscles so you're stronger, faster. The blood is primarily coming from your digestive system and being pumped away from your digestive system to your brain and your muscles. So butterflies in the stomach, digestion slows. By the way, butterflies in the stomach, that feeling is from blood leaving your digestive system. When blood leaves your digestive system, you're not very hungry. Diet pills are amphetamines. They get blood to pump away from your digestive system, which reduces your hunger, because without a lot of blood, your digestion doesn't function very well. You also have a lot of blood in your digestive system, which is why a belly wound can be fatal, because you can bleed out. So digestion slows, heart rate increases, respiration increases, pupils dilate so you can see better, particularly in the dark. And then the parasympathetic calms you back down. When the threat is over, it kind of reverses all those systems back to normal, okay? So that should get you, that should get you ready for the first exam. Make sure you've taken good notes on the videos. Make sure you study those worksheets that we went over. Make sure that you've read the book and you go through areas of the book that you had a little more trouble with understanding, and you guys should be all set. On Friday, starting at noon, you'll be able to take the test anytime between noon and midnight. Once you open up the exam, you have to finish it. You can't pause it and come back. You get 1 question at a time, okay? You have 60 minutes to take the test. But once you start it, the clock is ticking and it won't stop. So make sure you have an hour to devote to the test before you start. And again, you could start anytime between noon and midnight. 1 question at a time. You can't go back to questions. So do your best. And for this exam, because it's all multiple choice, your scores will be, your answers will be graded just about immediately. So you'll have a grade in Blackboard for your first exam just about immediately. I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, you can post them in the Chapter 2 question discussion board on the Blackboard site, or text me or call me on my cell phone, or email me at my office email, which is on the syllabus, frankcarappi@mail.sunijcc.edu. Good luck. Talk to you soon.